Ti se igra. Ti se isto idi mete igrat. Ne ću se igrat. Daj! Nema lajat.
It's been more fun at the beginning.
I tamo. Frida, zovi ga. Zovi mete. Ajde igraj se.
Okay, so we will start. What's your name?
Do you want me to answer in Croatian or in
English, better.
In English?
If your name is in Croatian, of course, answer in Croatian. What's your name?
Željko Rajković.
And what's your age?
I'm like, let me see, 39.
What do you like the most in Croatia, like in Slavonski Brod or even in this, Slavonia area, Slavonia Baranja?
I don't know. The same thing that I don't like, the people.
Why do you like and why do you don't like the people here?
Because people here sometimes they can be so great and unbelievable, but lately people turned and doing things wrong. I don't know. Something changed in Croatia, and I don't know. That scares me. Croatia is a great place. Maybe, I don't know. Great. It's a small country, but we have beautiful sea, so many islands, different stuff, nice cuisine. It's really nice place, but somehow people made it terrible place.
But what do you mean? Because this area, Slavonski Brod, isn't a very touristic place, like Dubrovnik and Split. So the people aren't so crossed by this influence of tourists, and people, I think, don't change here for tourism. So what do you mean, like bad people, like maybe, I don't know?
No, it's people after the war and all that stuff, politics and everything went wrong. This country was supposed to be a great place, but after the war, people don't work, especially here in this town. It's hard to find a job. I came back like September 2011 and I can't find any job, so I'm going away again to work somewhere else.
Okay,
But abroad? You are going to work abroad? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere else, some other country.
As well with, you told us that you've been in army, yes?
Yeah.
And are you was like normal soldier or what?
I was in the army also here during the war.
As well?
Like 2 years.
And you've been in fighting in the Slavonski Brod area?
In Slavonski Brod. Yeah.
So, and how was it there? Because, mostly we know the fights in Srpska Krajina, da? Srpska Krajina near Knin and near Dubrovnik fights, Vukovar fights, maybe
right.
some Vukovar. But here in Slavonski Brod, I haven't heard about fights in Slavonski Brod. In other side, like in Bosnian side.
There was lots of, as you can see, I told you, the river right here across, that's a border. You will see how long it is. They start shooting from other side. Everybody closed their window shops, and all the town was dead during the war. All this zone, everybody moves to the other side, somewhere far away. Many people died in here. We have like what is it called, like, like when they bombing, so we have alert that was playing on the roofs. We have that like 2 years for all the time. Okay. With no stopping. We have planes coming out across. They were putting bombs, cassette bombs that are not allowed to be used. So that means many other small bombs in those bombs. So they've been tearing down the buildings, two-story buildings, all the way to the ground.
What was the year between? Because it was after the separation of Republic of Srpska, or was it before the war started, or after the separation?
No, after the separation.
So
after the Serbs took all that place, Slavonski Brod, and all this area, so they start fighting here. Before that, no. When the Muslims and everything was like all right, there was no fighting.
Okay, was it like, do you know who was fighting? Like, was it this local Serbs, or was it mostly, paramilitary from, farther and Yugoslav army? Or?
Yeah, Yugoslav army and people that came from Serbia, and then because there was not so many Serb people right here in this town.
You mean the Bosanski Brod or Slavonski Brod?
In Slavonski, in Bosanski Brod, yeah. There was not so many Serbs over there.
So it was, what was the city mostly? Muslim or Croat or?
I think the Muslims are Muslim town, yeah.
And after, during the war and after the war, they were put back, you know, push from the city.
Right,
yeah?
right. Everybody moved, new people arrived.
So were there many refugees in Slavonski Brod?
Sure, there was so many people in all the neighborhoods. Almost like everybody have somebody that came, or they give them some shelter, they give them food or something. Yeah, they went. They start living in some like houses on the hills that people go on a vacation or nothing. You know, they just needed a place to stay.
Mm-hmm. And okay, it can be a very tough question, because you know the Serbs live mostly in Serbian Krajina, Srpska Krajina, and you know after in 1995 there was, you know, the offensive of the Ante-Gotovina, it was the storm. And how do you feel about that? Because it was something like revenge, you know, the Serbs were pushed from their not territory but where they live. You know, as I know, the 200,000 people were refugees. You know, the Serbia is the country, comparing to the size of the population, it has the most refugees in Europe. I think it's more than 10% of population is refugees. So how do you feel about this Gotovina? You know, because it was the same like the Serb came to Vukovar and then you came to Krajina, from my perspective. And how is it from your perspective?
You know, all that war and is bringing the worst in people. So you know, I'm not saying that so one side is perfect and the other side is not, but you know, this is like Croatian country and everything else, and Serbs can always be here like everybody else, you know. And that was the time like that. Knin was a town with mostly Serbian population, so they were shooting and everything else. So Croatian feel it they need to stop that.
What was the Serbian do in Knin? What were they do?
And before that, they were shooting around. They started all that revolution. They call it Balkan Revolution, because they started with cutting trees and putting it on the streets and stopping cars, you know, with some guns.
Yeah. I've heard.
So later on, of course, I understand them. And if I was in their situation, even if I was you can understand, I live here. Maybe my neighbor, Serbian, he's shooting and doing something bad, but I'm living here. Nobody wants to leave their home, you know. If you're living here for generations and generations, of course, they stay here. So when they moved, the Croatian army started coming in the town. Of course, they think something bad is going to happen, or what am I going to do here? Of course, they moved. I'll do the same, you know.
Okay, and I think the last question of the war, what do you feel about Ante-Gotovina? For Croats, he's mostly hero, and he was say after the second verdict in appellation court in Haga, he was said he's innocent, and the first he was said he should go to the prison. And how do you feel about that? You know, there are two verdicts. One, he should be in prison, and second, he's innocent. And it looks like, wow, he killed or not?
You know, but things are not black and white.
Yeah.
You know, never in life. So it's thing with Ante-Gotovina also. He's been used like a political figure and in some games and everything else. Maybe he wanted to surrender, but that ex-political government and parties, people, they told him to hide, whatever, you know, not to come, and things are escalating, and so he went. Personally, he's not to be blamed as a person, you know. If he ordered or whoever did something wrong, he needs to be prosecuted. He needs to go to jail, you know. It doesn't matter. Well, does he have a Croatian, Bosnian, whatever stripes, you know. If you do something wrong, you need to be responsible for that.
Sure. Okay. The you know, Serbo-Croatian.
So he's not hero for me, and he's not a criminal for me. He's just a soldier, professional soldier who's doing what he was told, you know.
Understand. Okay, so we aren't part of the Serbo-Croatian war, which world mostly think that Croats are victims and Serbians are the offenders. And I will start I think the most tough topic for Croats, Ustasha topic, because if I were Serb and then the Croatia came to life again in 1991 to say the independence, and Ustasha, black and red, this flag came again, I would feel very scared, and I would as well, create my own state and try to defend me. I would feel that, Ustasha will come again and kill me. How do you feel about it? Because, Ustasha is a very tough topic. Mostly world, like Western world feel that Ustasha was bad, like Nazi.
Right, of course, yeah, sure. Because many people are, as I was saying, many people are seeing things black and white. So many people in Croatia, maybe they're carrying some like Ustasha signs or T-shirts, whatever, but they just think that's like how they're showing respect to their country, love to their country. They are not aware that is something like that is not good. That is something that belongs to past. And we don't have nothing to do with it. But I don't think that Croatian those thing on a Croatian flag that doesn't belong to Ustasha. We had it before, but if you want, you can make some references like with that NDH. That was the name of the country that was Ustasha was. Right. So I don't know. I don't think they were scared because Slovenia just first said, okay, it's enough, we don't want to be part of Yugoslavia anymore. But they didn't have nothing to do with it. Oh, I have to stop. Okay. She's leaving. Shh. Okay. So, but after that, they start like caring for Croatia because they didn't want us to leave. They didn't want us to leave.
Was it like, because of the Serbian minority? Because I think it was the most important. In Slovenia, they came, stop, because after 10-day war, they feel, okay, there are no Serbs, we don't have to fight. Why? And, no, you feel like it was like mostly to defend the Yugoslavia, not to defend Serb minority, to defend Yugoslavia, yes?
No, I don't think they was care. They've been caring about Yugoslavia. They've been caring about them. They didn't care about Yugoslavia because they left Slovenia, but they didn't want Croatia. But
Macedonia and Slovenia came from the Yugoslav Federation without any bigger problems. The war in Slovenia was really, really small and short.
I know, but it's hard to say why did they want it, because people get some people get some good money and they have they live good from the war, So if I can remember now all the television shows and all the news, there was people from all the sides are saying something about some war, about these people, that nationality is not good, we are best, and that's, I guess if you ask most of the people from ex-Yugoslavia, nobody would like to this thing turn like this, I think we had a good life. We were supposed to, separate it nicely and good and friendly, because we all have friends everywhere, in Bosnia and everywhere. But then came war, and now you have to stop talking to somebody. Now you don't have any more connection. If you heard this last night, you can say, oh man, he's from Serbia. Oh, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, one more I want to ask. Because as you told, most of people say, okay, we don't want war. We have friends from both sides. We came to Republika Srpska and people say, okay, we don't feel, bad with Muslims or Croats, and so on. And so who fights? is it like the people from outside came to fight, like from the other part of Croatia, the other part from Serbia, they started to say, okay, we want to our country, and you look on them and, dude, we don't want to fight. How was it?
Yeah, people are like sheep, and they just follow in a groups. And when you're in a group and somebody is spreading something, and then two people are saying that, 5, 10, 20, hundreds, and people just go behind that. They don't think, and this is what it got to us, you know. So we can live in bunkers or basements for years, and people have to move from their houses permanently. Terrible thing.
Okay, end of the war. How do you feel about that Croatia came to the European Union at the 1st of July in 2013?
Man, I don't know what to say. That's the last chance for Croatia, sad to say so, but that's Croatia in so bad economical situation. But if we didn't go to European Union, which I don't like us to go, but we have to go there because we will be isolating completely. And I'm sorry. I hope that Croatia will have, you know, good economy and everything, so we can live without the European Union and all that rules. But
okay,
we're going there, and this is the place that we belong.
Okay, and the last question, like the maybe more funny. I now thought about this. You know, the Serbia in the last year, I think in the March, started to be the official candidate of the European Union. How would you feel that in the 10 years, you know, you, Croatia, Slovenia, Serbia, and probably in the next years in Bosnia and Macedonia came as well to the European Union and then to Schengen, and again you will not have borders and everything will start back like from Tito times. How would you feel about that? Again,
I don't like borders anyway. I don't think they are stupid, you know, in the whole world, not just here. You know, that's just places that you need to. Well, what does it mean? I'm born here. That was the accent. What will happen if my mother was flying to Germany and I was born there and lived there, and what?
But how would you feel about this war? You know,
no, I don't have a problem. I don't like borders anyway, so I don't have a problem with people. There are good people, bad people, you know.
But do you think many Croats would say we don't want Serbia in European Union? Like, no, we fight for our, you know.
No, oh no, let them come. You know.
Okay, thank you.
And one more thing, you can see what's going on. You will see all the people from Slavonski Brod going to across the border.
Yeah.
People that were fighting here, they don't have money. They're going over there because the cigarettes are so cheap over there. They're buying, I don't know, some food or something. People that were fighting here, they're going over there with buying from the people they've been fighting against. And you can see that. What does it mean? You know, business is working still and everything is good, but you know, tell it to the people that lost somebody. You know.
And you told us about some monuments for children who died here. Can
Right.
you tell us more about it? When it was?
I think during the war there was 30-something kids that died in this town. So they made a monument right over there. So we won't ever remember that they didn't have a chance to live their life ever.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, no problem.